Yes, hello. Today, look, we've got Fuse with Kami Piccolo. He is finally getting his Zenkai, so he's when I say finally, it's more like it was already announced a couple of days ago, or maybe yesterday. I don't know. Time doesn't work the same for me anymore. Every day is the same day, and every day is a different day. It's just we're going through the motions of life. With that being said, let's cue the intro.
Welcome to my channel where cringy intros are cringy.
All right, so we are here. We're taking a look at the stats at 14 stars. That's what I'm going to assume most people have them at. If you've been playing this game for a while, mainly because Master Pack 2 tickets kind of just threw them left and right. So I have them at 14 stars. I think my free-to-play account even has them at 14 stars or close to that. Yeah, he's a solid unit. In terms of stats, at least. Let's look over the kit, and then let's actually talk it over, because it looks underwhelming, and it could be, but it also could also not be. I'll go over it, and we'll just see, is this guy actually worth your CC? And to answer this really quickly, if you're not playing regen, then don't put your CC towards this guy, like, at all. Just don't do it. I think that answers that. Now, in the situation that you are playing a blast focused regen team and you don't have access to this boyo right here, as in the Kid Buu, at least to 6 stars or maybe even 3 stars. I don't really like him at 2 stars. At 3 stars, he feels a little bit better in terms of his buffing. But at 6 stars, I would say he's optimal. And then if you have him at any other higher stars, that's fantastic. Good job. But let's just assume 6 stars, the average player that focuses on one team, that sort of thing, And then in that case, if you are running this dude, I think he's more of a buffer for the team and less so the core unit. Now, in the situation that you do plan to run this guy, let's actually talk about how good he is and how relevant is he. So we got the main ability, which is a God's Wisdom, nullifies unfavorable element factors for 45 timer counts and 50% to damage inflicted for 30 timer counts. Takes 10 timer counts for this to elapse, so it's pretty quick and it's pretty solid. Now let's just take a look if the base form was the same thing. Yes, the exact same thing. And then the base form, we also had plus 50% damage for blast to androids, cannot be canceled. And then we have android enemy after your downgrade of 35% for 25 counts when he enters the battlefield. Let's take a look at his Zenkai real quick just to see what has changed, what has not. So, yeah, it's the same stuff, except here they have changed to the point where they've also added the tag future, which is really good because this means that any future team is going to be scared of this guy. And on top of that, if you meet up with an LF future Gohan in a hybrids team, you can nuke that to Kingdom Come, which is awesome. We like that. The fact that it cannot be canceled, that's nice. Now, at Adept, so Zenkai 3, he has Silent Barrage, which applies the following effects to self when this character enters the battlefield, which is he restores ki by 20, not bad, and then it randomly draws one new card when you have 3 or fewer cards. This is actually really good and a lot more relevant than people might think at first glance. When I'm thinking of combo extensions or finishers, I think of this character immediately, because you start a combo, you have 3 or fewer cards in hand. As you're continuing that combo, you throw him into the mix, he draws a new card, and he just keeps going. Keeps going, whether it's for 1 card only, or 2, or even 3 cards. He does extra, which is nice. It is nice to have that, and on top of that, he does support himself with some ki, so it's not like he's going in there with nothing. Now, in the same token, it also depends on his levels. So obviously at level 10, it's going to be 28 in terms of cost, so it doesn't mean that you're always going to be able to do this. Whereas with Strike, it is going to be 18, which means, and this is assuming you're getting to Zenkai 7, you've fully soul boosted him, of course. Then in that case, yeah, he's gonna be good. I would say he would be good. Like, if you get a Strike, it's definite, but if you get a Blast, it's not 100% certain that you're gonna have this happen. But I'm not gonna assume that you have like 1 or 2 ki when you do this, so it shouldn't be too impactful. Whether you get a draw, blast, or a strike. But with that being said, let's take a look at his next thing, and then we'll talk about him in full. The decision to fight unlocks at full power at powerful, which is Zenkai 6. Applies the following effects itself when battle starts. He gets 30% to damage inflicted, which cannot be cancelled. Nice. And then reduces damage received by 10%, cannot be cancelled. I'm surprised they only give him like a 10% damage reduction. Although I guess considering regen is quite tanky as it is, and heals a lot, fair. So yeah, it looks underwhelming because it kind of is, honestly. But his stats are pretty good, although again, stats aren't everything. But he definitely fits a more blast-oriented regen team, which is, at this point, blast-oriented regen teams are actually quite scary, and in fact are actually taking over. I kind of assumed over like many months ago that it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, and it's clear to me that it's happening. It's starting to happen, or if it hasn't already happened, honestly. And let's take a look at his special move and his special skill, because I believe they have been upgraded. Yeah, they have been upgraded a lot, actually. So that's really good. That's really good. Okay, so this is really good. Okay. Just want to see. Yeah, okay. So for the first one, Hellzone Grenade, instead of 40%, it's 100% when they're changing cover. So that means literally this guy, after like throwing a blue card, it's insane. As long as the opponent changes cover, all of a sudden any change cover that they do for damage reduction just doesn't matter at that point. Solid. It's not always 100% going to be the best thing, and it's not always going to be activatable like this effect, but just in general, like, it's nice to have, and sometimes they're going to do it anyways just because of color counter and stuff like that, and he's just going to say no. So that's awesome. On top of that, you got 45 timer counts of nullification of color, so he will do base neutral damage to anyone, which is solid. And we got unlock form of attack. So instead of blast damage, now it's just damage in general and to allies for 15 timer counts. And then cancels own attribute downgrades and abnormal conditions. So originally it was just attribute downgrades as shown here. And now they've updated it to abnormal conditions. That is solid. Yeah, it's just a straight up buff. I like that. It's fair for a Zenkai, since it's a Zenkai. Double blast, that's the same. Nothing has changed. And then we got tournament power ability on hit. Target is android or future self. 20% to damage inflicted instantaneously. And then start of turn, 50%, 20 minus 20 for receiving. Start of battle, plus 20% to special move gauge. That's pretty good. 50% to own special move damage. Okay. And inflicts enemy with attribute downgrade 30% to damage received for one turn. Cool. And then what's nice about this guy is that he also buffs blue and regeneration for all of this stats at Zenkai 7, or Zenkai 6, better to say, which is nice because Boo Kid is in that particular section. Whereas the alternate unit before Boo Kid was actually this unit, Android 21. And although she's a fantastic unit, she doesn't obviously buff him. So as a result, if you do want those Zenkai buffs on LF Kid Boo, then you're going to actually have to run Kami Piccolo. You just have to, because that's the only one that's giving him those boosts that you're looking for, at least in terms of Zenkai ability. So if you are doing a strike-oriented regen team, then I personally think that Android 21 is your go-to gal. But if you're doing a blast-oriented, I honestly think that Boo Kid is definitely going to be the #1 contender for a blue unit on that team, with Kami Piccolo maybe being for specific matchups or just boosts in general, or if you're free to play and 100% free to play and you don't have Kid Boo because you didn't pull him, then Kami Piccolo is your replacement. You could argue that you could just do Android 21 at that point, because overall, she does have a lot more going for her in regards to what she can do. So like, she's got all of this buffs that she can give to people that are regen, or to anyone that's a transforming warrior, or if they part android for whatever reason, like the 21s, other 21s, that's helpful too. So there's a lot that she has a lot going for her, obviously. And then on top of that, her blast damage is respectable. So she's very multi-purpose. So you could also argue that she's just straight up better. But at the same time, if you're going for just massive damage output and for blast, and it's not so much about tanking or support, and it's more just about nuking, then I think Fuse with Kami Piccolo is the better character for you. So I think it really depends on your playstyle here. If you're free to play and you don't have access to LF Kid Buu, then Kami Piccolo is definitely your go-to unit if you're looking for someone that nukes. If you're looking for someone that is more supportive and also helpful when even dead, or alternatively just tricky, then I think that Android 21 is maybe your better bet. But overall, if you're playing a blast-focused regen team, then I think LF Kid Buu just straight up is your unit. And if that's the case, then you might as well have either Kami Piccolo for the Zenkai buffs, or just have LF Kid Buu and ignore Kami Piccolo altogether. So yeah, that's pretty much this unit. It's a solid unit. He's good against specific tags, obviously, and I'm sure he's going to be an actual nuke. And the fact that he fits on Super Warrior is actually hilarious. So he will get buffed on a Super Warrior team. So Super Warriors, a lot of people look at this as regen buffing, but you could also say that this is Super Warrior buffing. So, you guys have finally that blue unit that you always wanted. Now, you just need an actual good yellow unit. Actually, you technically have a good yellow unit, don't you? You got the Legends Road. Yeah. He's a Super Warrior, right? You have a full color wheel, guys. You can definitely play. So Super Warriors rejoice. This is your unit. It's your time to shine. The more I say that, the more I'm not even sure if I'm joking or not anymore. But yeah, so finally, let's just break it down very quickly. If you're fully free to play and don't have access to Kid Buu, and you want a pure blast-focused team, then Kami Piccolo is the choice of unit. If you're doing a strike-oriented unit, and you don't have LF Kid Buu, but you're actually just doing strike in general, then Android 21 is your go-to unit. If you are not free to play, then in that case, obviously LF Kid Buu, you should probably go with that one. Actually, not probably. You just should go with that unit if you can. Even if you're free to play, if you can go with that unit, do it. It's just that Kid Buu is literally the best blue unit Regen currently has, and rightfully so. It's actually a really solid unit, so don't sleep on that unit. And I don't think a lot of people are, but he doesn't get brought up enough. He is actually insane. But yeah, Kami Piccolo I can see being that replacement unit, or alternatively being a specific matchup unit. How much is he actually going to be used at the end of the day? It's hard to say. So if you are on the fence about him, I would say save your CC, see how it's going, see what people are saying, take other opinions too, not just mine, and get a general broad view of whether or not he's actually worth it for your regen team, especially if you do main regen. And then in regards for top, I mean, what can I say when it comes to Tournament of Power? I'm sure he's actually a good unit for a Tournament of Power. He looks pretty good. He increases he gets increased damage. Damage. Yes, damage. He has the 20% to special move gauge. So he will be getting his blue card a lot more often, and blue cards in Tournament of Power are really, really solid. And then if we take a look at his where is it? Key restore speed. Okay, it's okay. It's not bad. So, because we're looking at key restore speed when we're thinking of speed for in Tournament of Power. But yeah, we'll have to actually compare that, see what it's like with other units, because depending on their speed, it's gonna greatly affect who goes first and what. Yeah. So she's really fast. So yeah, that's what I gotta say. I overall think that he's a solid replacement unit if you don't have Kid Buu. And I truly believe that honestly, if you're playing a blast-focused regen team, then Kami Piccolo is your replacement unit to Kid Buu if you don't have Kid Buu. But otherwise, I think I'd just stick with Kid Buu. I wouldn't even care. And then if you're thinking for collector's purposes and you just want him Zenkai, go for it. Test him out, try him out, see if with Kid Buu being buffed by him, Kid Buu even performs better, or if it's not necessary. Realistically, it's hard to say without actually testing, but overall, this new Piccolo feels balanced. at least for now. Obviously, with all the buffs and all of the other stuff that the Zenkai 7 yellow Piccolo can do, and increasing this Piccolo as well, and then all the different synergies you can do with regen currently, it's quite scary actually. So I wouldn't sleep on this unit. I don't think this unit is bad, and definitely looks underwhelming, but I think that for combo chains and for just in general specific matchups, this unit is scary. He's actually a threat. And that's nice. It's nice to have that. It honestly is. But with that being said, that guys is the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't hesitate to tickle the like button if you haven't already, subscribe, and click the bell for more notificaciones so you never miss one of my videos. Share the video even, because maybe your dog wants to see it. Have yourselves a salty day, and I will see you in the next video.
Thanks for stopping by. Hope you had a time, Phil G. Phil G.